With people like Gary Vaynerchuk telling you need to be producing 50 pieces of content a day and seeing all your favorite content producers posting something once a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, creating a consistent content plan can seem like an impossible task. Well, there's a strategy that you could be using to turn one simple 30-minute recording a week into a huge output of content across multiple channels. One 30-minute video can give you content for your YouTube, for your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your MySpace, your Bebo, wherever it is that you're posting. One video can create content for all of those platforms. Now, this is a strategy I've used with my clients, and it's a strategy that I've used for myself to help build my personal brand, which, if you are watching this at the time of posting, won't be such a massive audience. So do me a favor improving this concept by liking and subscribing to the channel. But big names are doing it as well. I've often seen from YouTube creators that I enjoy, I'll watch their video and then I'm subscribed to their email newsletter, which I'll get the next day or the day after. And it's got basically a transcript of the video that I've just watched. Even companies in their ads are using this sort of strategy. There was a Grace Beverly Revolut ad that I saw recently that I liked, and I wanted to dive a bit more into the data of how it was being produced. And I went onto YouTube's ad library equivalent. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But I found there was one ad that was about 1:30, maybe 2 minutes long. And then subsequent to that, there were 7 or 8 smaller ads that had just been chopped from that big ad. And those ads were then going to different platforms. In fact, I think I'd first saw the ad maybe on TikTok or Instagram, and then delved into YouTube and saw the ad again, and you get the gist. All it takes is one really tremendous piece of long form video content that gives a good amount of value and generates a good amount of, yes, my favorite keyword, intrigue. You can split that into multiple pieces of content. So if we take our one 30-minute video, that can be broken into 5 short form videos like TikToks or Instagram Reels. You can take some of the concepts that you've spoken about in that video and create carousel posts. Let's just say 3 posts for example's sake. You can use the themes you've created and make emails from that as well. So again, just for example, let's say 5 emails. A very simple one is you can take the audio or just post it directly, I suppose, to Spotify as a podcast. You could take some of the key points that you've spoken about in the video and create text posts for places like LinkedIn or Twitter, X, sorry. I guess this is pretty much the same as emails. But you can use it for blog posts as well. You can even use the same text you use for your email and just post it as a blog. And suddenly, from your one 30-minute video that you shot, you've got content across 5, 6, or 7 different platforms. Now, this can all sound well and good, but I'm sure a key question that a lot of you are having are, okay, but how do I get started? How do I know what to record in my 30-minute video? Well, to start with a really obvious point, but one that is important, is to talk about what you know. Now, as I say, while this may be an obvious point, I include this in here because doing something like this, building a personal brand, creating content to post out regularly, is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I have tried at multiple times. The reality of it was I had the desire to build a personal brand and talk about topics that actually I didn't know that much about at the time. There were things I wish I did know about and had done research about and could maybe explain things to you if you wanted me to, but I had no proof. I hadn't tried these things. I hadn't tried running Facebook ads. I hadn't tried setting up an email campaign. I hadn't tried creating a successful sales funnel. And so while I probably could have made content on those things, it probably wouldn't have been very good because I wouldn't really have known what I was talking about. I wouldn't have had anything to back up what I was saying. So talk about what it is that you know, but in terms of the specifics of what it is that you're talking about, the biggest source of finding content ideas, and again, slightly obvious at face value, but I'll dig into it a bit more, is take a look at what is working. And I guess just as a side note for the fact that I keep on saying to state the obvious, it's been one of my biggest learning curves in growing my own business and helping other business grow theirs, is that things that can often seem obvious are the ones that you overlook. So while these are things that you might already know, me just saying them and highlighting them to you right now might trigger a different way of thinking in your psychology and help begin a different outflow of working. Or at least that's my hope anyway. That's been the case for me with many things. Someone has reviewed some of my work or taken a look at something, made a very simple and seemingly obvious suggestion, and making those obvious tweaks has made a huge difference. So yes, I may be teaching you to suck eggs, but you haven't been sucking those eggs, so But where to find what is working evolves over time. To begin with, take a look around at your competitors, people whose content you enjoy watching, and see what is working well on their channels. Is there a type of video that they have produced or a topic that they've spoken about that you feel you could reproduce in a way that would be interesting to a new audience? And a lot of platforms have easy ways to do this. On YouTube, you can look at a channel's most popular videos. I think you could do that on TikTok now as well. Take a look. What did well? Can you do it as well? Now, I'd say try to look at their most recent stuff and see what recently has worked well, just to ensure that you're staying relevant with current trends within your industry. But that doesn't always have to be a case. Again, take a look back and see, was there a video maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year or two ago that really blew up for them? And actually, it's just one of those things that if reproduced and presented to an audience could once again spike. But as I said, looking at what works evolves eventually, and over time you'll be able to see what of your content has worked well. Check back on your previous videos, your previous content that you've put out, and see what did well, and see if you can add to it, or maybe just replicate it in a more current and relevant format. Or take a certain topic that you spoke about that worked well and chop it down to even further subtopics. So if you're posting recipes, for example, and you posted a recipe for a feta salad that worked particularly well, maybe in 6 months' time, reproduce that salad, but do it with different shots, maybe a slightly different wording. If it's just a photo post, use different photos, but then try different types of salads and see if that relates with your audience as well. But now you know that that type of content works. Is it that your audience particularly enjoys salads? Try a few different salad recipes and see if those blow up as well. Now again, to break this down even further, this is all well and good, okay? So you're making one 30-minute video, suddenly you've got 5,000 different pieces of content that you can post out in a week. You now know how to find what videos you are posting. You now know how to find topics to talk about in your videos. But then there's the case of actually doing this, recording that 30-minute video, editing that 30-minute video, chopping it down into these multiple different things. You might be thinking, okay, Dan, it's a 30-minute video, but how long will it take for me to cut something down to 30 minutes? How long will it take for me to repurpose all of those things and post them and make sure that they look nice as well? Well, the reality of it is that yes, at first, this process might take you quite a lot of time, but you can and will become more efficient. You just need to put in the reps. Now, whereas for me, this kind of process might take me 3-4 hours a week to do, to make one high quality video, hopefully, and repurpose it into multiple different high value pieces of content, hopefully. For you, it might take a little bit longer with that. It might take 7 hours, it might take 8, maybe even 10 hours. I actually started doing videos like these back in 2020, I think was the first time I started some sort of video channel. So I've been doing this for 4 years now. I might have done this type of video 500, 600, 700 times. I still think I'm pretty terrible at this. I still think the quality of this is not so great. But I know that over time, if I keep putting in the reps, I will get better, hopefully. So I suppose in all of this, my biggest and best piece of advice for you is just to get started. Just try it. Start producing some content on a topic that you love, or if it is that you're producing this for your business, talk about elements of your business. Just start making content. And over time, things like talking to the camera, editing the videos, presentation skills, all the bits and pieces that come into this, what looks like at face value, simple system, all those things become much easier. You get much better at them. And soon you'll have a thriving brand and thriving channel that you always dreamt of. If you enjoyed this video, got any value out of it at all, please do like and subscribe to the channel. I've got loads more content like this coming up very soon. And if you haven't already checked out my digital dominance community, I've got a link for that in the bio, where we talk about all things online and business and how you can make more money with more margins and make more time for yourself through your business.